Hey guys, I have quite a substantial haul from Sephora today. I bought a lot of my old favorites that I have kind of been putting off buying again just because I was trying to save money. Also, there's a couple things in here that are new to me. So I thought that I would do something a little differently this time. I thought I'd do a haul and then do a get ready with me using all the products. I'll start out with all of the stuff that I've already had before. I got another one of my Tarte Opening Act Lash Primers. That came with a little mini of the Lights, Cameras, Lashes mascara. I also got an Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And of course, I got my Kat Von D tattoo liner, which I can't really live without. I got a replacement for my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in taupe. It's been a long time since I had this product. I've been using drugstore versions. And then I repurchased for the first time in years. The first time I bought this in 2012, so I got, finally, 5 years later, I got another one, and it's the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This is just the regular Chocolate Soleil. There's the Milk Chocolate Soleil, which is lighter, and then there's also dark chocolate if you have a darker skin tone. Then I also repurchased the YSL Touche Eclat foundation, and I got this in B30. I think the name is Almond. It's not on the packaging, but it was on the display at Sephora. And then I got 3 new products that I've never used before. The first one is the Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops, and this one's in shade Celestial. And I also got the Touche Eclat Blur Primer that goes with the foundation. And the last thing I got is a palette. It's a Marc Jacobs Style Eyecon No. 7 palette. I actually was a little disappointed when I got this home. I realized that the palette that I wanted was in the wrong place on the display, so I looked at the name on the display instead of on the packaging. So I grabbed the wrong palette, so I grabbed the Starlet. I've been trying to use it and trying to convince myself to like it. So it's all these colors. There's some grays here, and then it's more like warm tone, gold, orange, a brown, and then a couple champagne-y. I have time to return it if I want, but I'll just work with it, see if I can make it work for me. So that's everything I got from my haul. So now I'm gonna jump into the get ready with me. So I'm gonna use all these products on my face along with some other things, of course, as well. I might be skipping over certain parts because some steps of this is the same in every get ready with me, so I don't wanna be too redundant. Anyway, here goes. Okay, so I'm starting out with 1 pump of this primer from YSL, and I just smooth that all over my face. And I have a actual review coming up on my channel for this pretty soon, so I won't get too much into what I think of it. And I take 1 pump and then a little tiny bit more than a pump of the Touche Eclat foundation. And before I applied this, you don't see it because I cut it out, I actually applied the Touche Eclat illuminator under my eyes and then a NARS concealer on the center of my face as a highlight, and then I'm just smoothing this all over the perimeter of my face with my Marc Jacobs face brush, and then kind of making sure I get it onto my ears, down my neck, and into the hairline, because it is a little bit darker than my skin tone, so I want to make sure that it's blended in well, so I don't just have like white spots in my hairline and on my ears and stuff. But the reason I use a little bit darker is because I self-tan my body, but the self-tan doesn't really stay on my face very well, so in order to get them to match up, I have to use a little bit darker foundation. And then after I use the brush, I then use my trusty beauty blender to blend that all in, to make sure that it doesn't look crepey or creasy or chunky or grossy. So yeah, I just use that dampened beauty blender and go over really well everything 1 more time. Usually don't use my bronzer as a contour powder, but I forgot to bring in my contour powder from my bedroom, and I was too lazy to go get it, so I just decided to use this Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer as a contour. This is what I used to do in the old days before I started getting a separate contour powder. works pretty well. I mean, it is a little bit bronzy in color for contour, a little too much, but it is matte, so it does the trick if you're in a pinch. I prefer something a little bit more cool tone, but anyway, too lazy to go to my room to get it. So now I'm going to try out my new highlighter. This is super intense. It's actually designed to be mixed in with other cream or liquid products, but I like to put it on straight up to my cheekbones. It is super duper intense. It's a little scary actually at first, but I'm still getting the hang of how to apply it. And then I use my beauty blender to blend it out a bit more. Just because it was so intense, I wanted to make it a little less so. Alright, so off camera, I had filled in my eyebrows with my stencil and powder. And now I'm just using my Brow Wiz to intensify the edges of the brows, I guess, and fill them in a bit more. Sharpen up the edges and bring out the tail a little bit further. And then here I'm just filling in that really annoying piece of my eyebrow that kind of dips in. I hate that eyebrow. That's my bad eyebrow. The other eyebrow's my good eyebrow. But hey, what can you do? I was a slave to the tweezers back in the 90s, like a lot of us 90s kids, so now I pay the penance for that. So I'm just going to do the same thing over on this eyebrow. It takes less time because this one's not as wonked out as the other one. So yeah, just fill that in, and then I always take the spoolie after and brush it out real good to make it less intense. And you'll see me do that here in a second. Okay. New day now. There we go. Brushing it out. Oh, I'm adding more, I guess. It always surprises me how long each step takes when I'm rewatching these after I do a video, because it really doesn't feel like it takes me this long when I'm in the process of putting my makeup on, but when I'm watching it and editing it, I'm like, holy man, it takes me forever. Alright, now I'm just taking that brow gel and going over my eyebrows just to keep them in place. This palette was not in my haul because I had bought this a couple weeks before. It's the Tartlette by Tarte palette, all mattes, and I actually returned this because I know a lot of people like this palette, but I found it was a little chalky and hard to work with, and also there's quite a few shadow colors in there that I don't really like. I really like the purple row, but the browns, I'm not like a big brown fan for eyeshadow. Alright, here's that Marc Jacobs palette. I already returned this as well. I tried to make it work and I just couldn't. So I'm just taking this silvery shade. It's kind of like a silvery blue and putting it on my lids. Yeah, this palette just turned out to be way too much shimmer for me. There was a lot of fallout, and the palette came to almost $80 after taxes Canadian. It wasn't worth it for me. As you see, I'm like constantly trying to get that fallout off my face. Taking this slightly darker gray in my crease. Oh, I made a big mess there. And again in this crease. I'll be doing a lot of blending in this look because, I don't know, the shadows just were not easy to work with. So I'm blending it out with this Sigma blending brush, but I need a new blending brush. This one is old. It was good when I first got it, but now I've had it for 3 years, and Sigma isn't like the highest quality of brushes. They're kind of like MAC knockoffs. They work well for a while, but then they start to wear out. So I need to get a new one. It's not really doing a great job of blending. Now I'm taking this lighter color again with a fluffy brush and trying to tone down these dark, garish, silvery colors. I don't know if you can tell by my face, facial expressions, but I am hating how my eyeshadow looks. I'm just like, ugh. So I'm trying to warm it up a bit with this orange. I don't really like warm tones that much for my eyes, but this look was just way too silvery for me. So I was trying to warm it up with the orange color. Didn't really work well. I don't really get the color choices in this palette because it's really silvery, cool colors and then really warm colors. And they just don't work together, I don't think. So I don't get it, but now I'm taking this matte white-ish color from the Tartlette palette and trying to tone down the metallicness of this look by just putting a ton of matte on top of it. Yeah, I really hate how this looks. And tons of fallout was coming out under my eyes with the metallic. So I'm using this beauty blender to try to get that away. I would recommend doing your face makeup after you do your eyes if you have this palette, but I really don't like doing that. I like to do my whole face first and then my eyes. So, and now for my most wonderful favorite product ever, the Kat Von D tattoo liner. And then I always use a champagne shimmer, usually in the inner corner, and then another eyeliner blended into it. I use a eyeliner brush to blend those together. I don't always use such a dramatic color. Sometimes I use a gray or a brown to blend those together, but today I used that pop of teal. Some of the other products that I used with this look that I didn't show on camera because I have a lot of other get ready with me videos showing it is my blush, and also I have on a setting powder, a finishing spray, and a Makeup Forever HD powder to take down some of the shininess from the finishing spray, just in the T-zone area. And also my trusty Revlon Balm Stain in Honey on my lips. Oh, and I can't forget my eyeshadow primer too, the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Now this step is another step that takes me forever. It's my lash primer. And I put several coats of this on, letting it dry in between coats to make it as intense as possible. Now, that being said, I am going to put on fake eyelashes after this, so I didn't necessarily put as much time into my mascara as I normally would. So that's it for this Get Ready With Me / Sephora haul. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!